I never found the right band to join. So I started my own.
Fans have been hyped for the release of Beyond the Spider-Verse after Across the Spider-Verse swung into cinemas in 2023, but fans better not hold space for the upcoming film just yet, as one of the franchise's lead actors offered a disappointing update on its release, which now appears further away than ever. So stick around as we deep dive into everything we know about the hopefully upcoming Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. After Into the Spider-Verse blew up onto our screens, Sony originally set Spider-Verse 3 for a March 29, 2024 release, just 9 months after Across the Spider-Verse hit theaters. But then, in true Hollywood fashion, the whole thing got yanked off the schedule. The 2023 writers and actors strike put the brakes on production, leaving the sequel floating in release date limbo. Jarl Jerome, the voice behind Miles G. Morales in Across the Spider-Verse, didn't exactly have great news about Beyond the Spider-Verse in a recent chat with Decider. With the threequel still MIA on the release schedule, it's clear things aren't moving fast. At the end of Across the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales barely escaped Miguel O'Hara's grip, only to land in the wrong universe face to face with Miles G. Morales, a version of himself who took a much darker path as the Prowler. When asked if Spider-Verse 3 had started production, Jerome confirmed they hadn't even begun recording dialogue yet, saying, "A lot of things are being figured out." So, yeah, don't hold your breath for a release date anytime soon, folks. The recording process for Spider-Verse 3 is nothing like Across the Spider-Verse. Back in June 2023, Haley Steinfeld, aka Gwen Stacy, told The Hollywood Reporter that voice work for Spider-Verse 2 kicked off right after the first movie dropped, about 4 years before it finally hit theaters. This time, there's been no movement. The 2023 Hollywood strike slowed things down, with writing stalled from May to September. But even after all that, recording still hasn't started over a year later, despite the SAG-AFTRA strike not affecting it. The sequel may have hit even more roadblocks after Vulture exposed just how brutal production was for Across the Spider-Verse, with animators describing it as death by 1,000 paper cuts. Then there's the drama from insider Jeff Snyder, who claimed Beyond the Spider-Verse was heavily delayed after Sony allegedly scrapped most of the movie for creative reasons. Some key figures on the film denied that, but the setbacks keep stacking up. But Beyond the Spider-Verse is still coming, eventually. Sony's just taking their damn sweet time, but apart from the question being when, it's what the heck is gonna happen in the next installment of this Spidey timeline? There's no official plot synopsis yet, I mean duh. But Across the Spider-Verse set the stage perfectly. Right now, Miles is trapped in Earth 42, where he's face to face with his villainous counterpart Miles G. Morales, aka the Prowler. In this universe, his dad is dead, his mom is with Uncle Aaron, and there's no Spider-Man, thanks to the Spot yanking away the spider that was supposed to bite him faster than you can say bagel. The good news? Gwen is putting together her own Spidey rescue squad to track Miles down. The bad news? He needs to get back before the Spot kills his father, a so-called canon event Miguel O'Hara insists has to happen to protect the Spider-Verse. That means Beyond the Spider-Verse is shaping up to be an all-out war. Miles, Gwen, and her crew versus Miguel, Jessica Drew, and the rest of the Spider Society. And this fight could take the story into uncharted territory. Phil Lord and Chris Miller have already hinted that the Spider-Verse is bigger than what we've seen so far. Miller even teased that the movie would introduce at least one more version of Gwen Stacy, possibly tying into the tragic death of Gwen Stacy's storyline from the comics. He's keeping details under wraps, but called it plot integral. So, not looking great for one of the Gwens. Brian Tyree Henry warned fans to get your hankies ready, and in February 2024, Shameik Moore teased that we're in for action-packed energy, dilemmas, and problems to solve, and the Spot will be back to wreak more havoc. One thing's for sure, this could be the end of the road for Miles. Sony Pictures boss Tom Rothman called it the last of the Spider-Verse movies in a May 2024 interview with Deadline. If that sticks, fans can expect Miles' story to be wrapping up here. If the movie ever comes out, that is. God damn it. Even though Sony's animated Spider-Verse trilogy is likely to wrap up with a solid ending, I'm seriously hoping this isn't the last we see of Miles Morales. Shamik Moore's portrayal of Miles and his crew could easily carry on in a future movie sequel, their own spin-offs, or just keep doing their thing in their universes off screen. Either way, the Spider-Verse films have already shown us what Miles can do as a lead in a Marvel movie, which makes me think he might not be too far from his live-action debut. It might take a minute, but Miles could be the next big-screen Spider-Man for a new generation. Forget another live-action Peter Parker, why not give Miles his own trilogy in the MCU? He's already a fan favorite in animation, and that's the perfect setup for him to make the leap into live action. Both Sony and Marvel would definitely cash in on that move, and we're absolutely here for it. But seriously, what's your take? Are you here for Miles Morales making his live-action MCU debut? And what's got you hyped for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse? Drop all your thoughts and wild theories in the comments. You know we love to hear them. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.